right, welcome to another edition of Beginner Breakdown. I am your host, 1998 Missouri Scholastic State Champion, Michael Kummer. All right, today we're going to be going over games from the 12, 13, 14 Open. That was played on Saturday, December 13th, 2014, just in case you were wondering. All right, so here I am. I'm the house player. I'm playing black against Hunter, rated 306. Here we go. All right, Hunter starts out E4. I counter with C5. This is the Sicilian defense. Very typical. Okay, so white plays a very unorthodox move right here, bishop E2. Not very aggressive, okay? So my plan in this position is to castle. So get this bishop out. So I decide to fianchetto it by playing G6, okay? So he castles, so far so good. Bishop G7, brings his knight out. Now I play the move D6 because if I play knight F6 here, all right, he'll play E5, and then my knight will have no place to go that's any good. All right, so play D6, and you're in good shape, okay? D3, bishop to G4, all right, attack the knight. So he attacks my bishop here. All right, I could retreat the bishop, but that's no fun. So take, all right? But probably not Grandmaster recommended. But it's good, it's good. All right, knight F6. Now he attacks my knight, and so castle. Now you just saw me take that knight. If you were playing white here, would you take this knight here? Any ideas? Complete silence. Okay. The answer is no, because it's not under attack. And you really want to trade this bishop for this bishop. So in this position, a very typical idea would be queen to D2. Okay? Followed by bishop H6. And then try to trade these bishops. Because this bishop is holding the black's position all together here. You see how strong he is? But if we could trade these off and get this queen in here, we'd be doing pretty well. All right? Hopefully that makes sense to people. All right. So, but instead he just says, all right, I'll play like you. You're the champ. So I take back. I don't want to double my pawns. All right, so knight to D5. And I bet everybody's shouting, take the pawn, all right? But that's a mistake. You gotta take the pawn, it looks free, but then white plays rook to B1, I retreat, and then he takes. And now he's got a very active rook. All right, so even though it looks free, it might not be. All right, so I just retreat. So after knight to D5 attacks the bishop, I like my bishop on G7. So I'm retreat and I'm safe. Okay. So he plays queen to D2. I still don't want to take this because he'll play rook to B1 and then he'll trump on my B7 pawn. So what else I got? I can just play my rook over. Rook to C8. The reason why I do that is because this bishop is on the same line as the rook. I don't like it. I don't want any tactics, so rook C8. All right, so he blocks it with C3 now. All right, challenge the knight to go away. So the only way the knight can go is the F4. Okay, so that knight looks kind of misplaced, right, on F4. So let's see if we can capitalize on the fact that his knight is on F4 here. Anybody got any ideas besides a grandmaster? So notice, what is on the same line as this dude?
Your pawn on D6?
My pawn on D6, yes, very good. That's integral. What piece of his is on the same line? A power piece. Hold on, yeah, hold on. All right. The queen, right? Queen and knight on the same color. Very interesting. So we can swoop our bishop to h6, and now we're pinning the knight. All right, always look for pins, and then when you see them, act on it. Okay, so we pinned it. We're looking good. So he plays d4. All right. So after take and take, I see a tactic, but it's a bad tactic. It's not the one I should have played. So any ideas in this position what to play? So my big thing is I always attack the pinned piece. But I missed the way to attack this pinned piece here. What do we got here? Anybody?
Queen to F6.
Queen to F6. That almost works. Queen to F6. What can we do to stop him now? He might play. He might just try to humiliate us with knight here. Let's see if that works. Probably not. Because if we take, see what happens? He'll take. So Queen F6 might be okay, but we might have better. What?
If the goal here is to win a pawn,
Well, but that's what I play, because I can't find the right move.
Is Queen G5 win that piece?
I think so.
I think so too. I'm not sure though.
He's going to try to distract me.
Well, you play Queen takes knight here.
Okay, he's going to try to protect it.
Yeah,
He's gonna, first things first, protect the piece.
that E5.
Then we play E5, he'll take.
Maybe.
Or maybe he'll just play, get out of here. And then we'll be like, okay.
Queen F6. Yeah, Queen E7. Because Queen E7, your queen's protected by the knight.
Yeah, that way if he tries, his mumbo jumbo, we'll just take, and then yes.
It's more mumbo and not so much jumbo.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a tough tactic to see, huh? I couldn't see it, but this guy, he found my move, huh? Just take the pawn, right? Or we can just take the knight. Queen takes, and now we want a pawn. And we didn't have to calculate anything. So, but you really want to try to calculate out how to get this. And the correct move is queen here. Make sense? We're just adding another attacker to the pinned piece. Okay, because E5 in this variation doesn't work either, because pawn takes, queen takes, rook takes, and now our knight is free to move. Okay, because it's not in a pin anymore. All right. But yeah, we just take, and now the queen has to take, and we move the defender. So now he comes over and threatens our knight, and we really like our knight on this square here, so we protect it, even though it gives us a backwards pawn. All right, and now he plays a move that isn't so hot. So how do we capitalize on this move?
we can just poke.
Yes, yeah, it's that easy. He put his queen and rook, same color square, we got the fork, and now we're looking really good. We take it, he takes it, and now, which file do you think we want to own for the entire game? Which is the only open file? The C file, right? Okay, so just pile on the C file. So now he can't challenge it, and we're looking great. All right, so he says get off the C file, but we don't have to, okay? We can just attack the queen, so if queen takes, rook takes, so forth. All right. So our rook is hanging, but we can just take and so forth. So the rook comes off. So now we get the rook to safety. Think we should take it? It was a trick. His queen protects it. So watch out. So we get back on the C file. Queen here. Now we can take it. And there's no trick. Now we just have a pass pawn, so we rush it up. All right, so we put his bishop there. Can you tell me about this bishop here?
It has a lot of squares looking
Yeah, so he's just like gonna attack it. And things are looking good. So now he wants to get some counterplay. He wants to check us and check us and check us and check us until we have to declare a draw. So, is there any move we can play to make it sure he can't check us? Well, we can check him, how about? And now we're looking good. We threaten checkmate, plays here. And so there's a lot of good moves here. Threatening checkmate is the best though. And now, do we have checkmate here? Yes. So you have checkmate, play the checkmate. Okay, so that was in round 2 of the tournament. But in the first round, my student played. So let's see how he did. So this is a brand new game. Patrick Smith played Nick Weiss, an employee at the chess club. So let's see how he did in this one. This is news to me too. So let's see this one. So Patrick starts out D4. Knight F6, C4, E6. All right, knight to C3. Bishop attacks the knight. F3, stopping the knight from coming in here. So that's not recommended, but Matt Larson likes it, right? Yeah. So there you go. National master Matt Larson. And a non. So it's got to be okay. All right, so I'm sure he'll play E4 here, and now he's got a big center. Big center. Who would like playing white in this position? Well, if a grandmaster likes it, then that's pretty good. All right, B5 protects the pawn. All right, bishop pins the knight, H6. Bishop back, knight up. So he's going to eventually get his pieces untangled here, hopefully. Ideas like A4 are probably screaming the computer, but he never gets to it. All right, here we go, A4 finally. All right, C6, castles to safety, knight up, queen C2, queen C7, takes. All right, so now white needs to get his rooks over here and try to destroy these pawns. Because you notice moves like A6 don't work in this position for black. Because you can just take. So let's see what he plays. He plays bishop D7 to protect it much better. Bishop F1. He doesn't want it to get captured. A5. So this is good what Nick's doing. I mean, he's got a pass pawn, and he's got an extra pawn. You know, he might as well make it like an asset instead of a liability, you know? So just get pushing it. Big trade. Knight up. All right, so now he's taken over the E file, but I think Nick's probably, well, he's coming in with the pawn. So this is not looking good anymore for white, if it ever was.
Yeah, white had a nice center, now he has no center.
Yeah, where'd the center go? Where'd the center go? All right, bishop up. Bishop takes, queen takes. Knight in there, he's in there. He's threatening a lot. He's threatening checkmate, huh? Let's see if white can prevent it. All right, he does. And now the fork, and it's looking like game, set, match for my student. And yeah.
Wait, which one's your student?
Oh man, so that's that. But I think he's gonna play a much better game in round 2. Hopefully. He's got the black pieces this time. All right, here we go. All right, so D4, knight F6, all right. So this time he decides to get in the Queen's Indian defense here. Castles, E3. Bishop up. Bishop to D3. All right, so takes, castle, H6. So black in this game secured his dark squared bishop. So that's really good when you're playing in this dragon setup to secure the dark squared bishop here. But now it's gone. It's gone. Because we have to defend C7 here. But we failed to protect C7, and things are not going good. All right. This time he got it. He got it. So that was interesting that white failed to take C7 here. G5. And he's still not taking this dark squared bishop. Queen F5, takes for check. Another fork. So Knight's having a field day this tournament here with these forks. So in this position, what do you think? It's going to be a win, loss, or draw for black here? We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Oh. So in this position, black got the fork, right? Rook, rook. Is there anything white could do about this? So if we lose this rook, we might get checkmated. But he takes the other one. But not good. All right, so white is threatening something huge here. What is he threatening? Well, it'll be okay if he goes here. So he's threatening a couple things here. He could swoop his rook down here, or he could even stop it short, threatening boom. Okay? So we might want to address these threats here. All right, that kind of addressed it. So he pins the rook. We can't take the queen because it's in a pin. So rook takes, queen takes, and draw. All right, not very eventful game. Let's see one where it is pretty adventurous. Patrick Smith against Scott Anderson. All right, here we go. And this time Patrick has the white pieces here. All right, so D4, D5, C4, E6. Okay, so Scott trapped in his bishop here. Knight C3, Knight F6. So what move would you not want to play in this position as white? What move do you kind of want to stay away from? It looks like a natural move, but it's really not that good. The answer is taking the pawn, because you're trading this pawn for this one. Not a good trade. Okay, so bishop out. Bishop brings the pawn out.
So did that happen in the game?
Yeah, that actually happened in the game. Yes. Yeah. So I mean, not everybody plays perfect chess, but it's just easy errors to correct from your games. Bishop up. H6. So bishop takes. Bishop takes. Knight up. Bishop up. Knight G3. So I don't know why he really likes to bring his knights up around instead of just putting them on natural squares. So notice this battery, the queen and bishop battery. Now, he has it reversed here. You'd much rather have your queen in front, so you're actually threatening checkmate eventually when black gets castled, okay? This is not very strong. Bishop E7, knight to F5, threatening check, so he takes. Knight F6 stops on anything on H7. So white castles, black castles, and see, there's no real big threat when this bishop is in front. He really wants his queen to be in front to have any kind of checkmate possibilities. E4, pawn takes. So he could have taken back, but he gets another attacker on it. And now queen takes the pawn, and things are falling fast for white here. Knight takes, bishop attacks the rook. So notice in this position, he could attack the queen with any rook. Probably be much better to attack it with the guy that's being, attacked. All right, because now rook attacks the queen, but when this queen moves, he'll have to move this rook again. Or he might play knight to c3 here. Knight takes check, or knight checks, I guess. All right, so queen takes the knight. And this check does nothing, okay? So it's very important to have your pieces in the right order here. Rook e3, rook challenges. All right, so rook f3. So now everybody should be able to see white's threat here. Bishop check, winning the queen, okay? So there's a lot of and what else is he threatening besides bishop check here? He's also threatening one more little attack. Like say we play king to h8 here. Then what would be white's big move? Anybody see a big threat? So see our rook, bishop, and queen are on the same file here. So we have a big threat here.
He can win the rook.
You can win the rook by bishop here. Meaning, okay, I have to move the queen, and then we win the rook. Okay? I mean threats like this also would work, but they're silly. Because he can't take the bishop because the queen's got to move to safety. All right, but he sees all this, and he just gets, after rook f3, gets the queen out of there. And so now he's got his own big threat here, if we're not careful. What is Scott attacking here?
Checkmate on the back row.
Checkmate on the back row, yes. Sacrificing the queen, rook takes mate. So we got to do something here to stop it. All right, rook to e3. That stops it. So he offers the queen trade, accepts, bishop takes, rook takes check, rook takes. All right. So we just transitioned from from a middle game where everybody had some good attacks and everything, and now we're in an end game, okay? Sure, black is a pawn up. He's got 6, I got 5. But we got bishop of opposite color. So we have a very good chance to hold a draw here if we play very, very good. But what is black threatening here? Like if it was black to move, what move would he just slam down here?
Rook to E2.
Rook to E2, good. He's threatening rook takes pawn and rook takes pawn. All right, so it's very easy. What move should we play here? Do we want to play rook to D2 to stop it? Yeah, that would be checkmate. So we don't want to play rook to D2 because he'll play rook E1 mate. All right, so we know now we don't want to play, we don't want him to get to E2, right? Any ideas?
King to F1.
King to F1, good. We want an active king too. We want our king up here, okay? So a good idea for white would be king F1. Maybe he'll play king F8, and then you know we could go up here, or we could challenge the file, whatever we want, okay? But the idea is we don't want to let him get to E2. But he plays G3, king F8, and now we play rook down here, and now he plays check, and now he finally plays rook E2, threatening rook takes check, and rook takes, and now he's got a significant advantage. So we take, and the game's over, because rook takes check, king up, rook takes bishop, and the game's over. There's no reason to let your opponent get so many tactics in the endgame if you can just simply shut him down with some preventive moves. So it went from being a drawn game to just game over with simple tactics here, and it's not going to last very much longer. And he gave up here because that's it. All right, so Patrick's having a tough game, tough day so far, but he's got Hunter in the last round. So let's see if he can regroup here and get him. He's got he's got the black pieces here. Okay, so here we go. It's my opponent Hunter against my student Patrick. Okay, so here we go. It's not going to last long, so hold on. All right, so Hunter plays E4, black plays E6. This is called the French defense, all right? But Hunter doesn't play it exactly right. D4 is more common. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the move knight F3. And now it's just transposed into Sicilian defense. E4, C5, knight F3, E6. All right, there he is with bishop E2 again. That's a move. Knight C6, but he's got castle, so that's good. Knight F6. Okay, so knight F6. So notice in the game I played earlier, I didn't want to bring my knight to F6 because I didn't want E5 to happen. So now we get to see what happens when E5 is played. All right, knight back to D7. Obviously, it's a little different position, but that's what it is, because I didn't have a D pawn out. All right, so D3. More adventurous is D4. All right. So now, do we want to be risk takers? So how many attackers does black have on E5? 3. How many defenders does he have? 1, 2. All right, but notice that if we take, he doesn't even take. If we take, right, we'll be in a pin. But I think we'll be okay. Because obviously if it tries to attack us, we can just take, knight takes, check, bishop takes, queen takes. Okay? So taking the pawn would be okay in this position. Instead he plays bishop to e7. Now he plays d4, we take, knight takes. And now we try to take. And he takes, relieving all kinds of pressure and all kinds of tactics. I mean, he could try to at least come down and attack our queen or something. But instead, he takes, and not good. All right, rook to e1. All right, so here we go again, right? Our rook, he's got his rook lined up with our queen with the bishop here, okay? So we want to, well, we can move it, or we can do something else. If we weren't going to move our queen, what do you think a decent move for black is? To try and end the game quickly.
Bishop to what's that, D6?
Bishop to d6. Let's see. He does play it, okay? So notice in the last game he had the queen and bishop. He had the bishop in front and the queen. So if you ever played bishop to h7 check, it wasn't going to do anything. But now he's learned in the tournament to put the queen in front of the bishop, okay? So what should black play to stop this checkmate? We got a lot of different moves here.
Knight to f3 is most effective.
Knight to f3. So that, see what that does is that attacks the queen and protects the pawn. Unfortunately, in the game, he plays knight d to b5 and check and mate. Game over. Okay, so you got to watch out for these queen bishop batteries here. All right. We got Willie Kane against Dennis Hourcade. Dennis Hourcade played a game with Grandmaster Ben Feingold. How long did it take you to beat him?
1,000.
All right, Willie Kane's going to show you how it's done, okay? Because he's just not going to mess around. All right, d4, d5. Willie Kane is an expert. He's pretty good. All right, so once again, black plays e6, stifling his bishop. So let's see if Willie makes the trade. I don't think so. But he does anyway. Unbelievable. All right, so and then Dennis adds insult to injury and doesn't even take back the right way. All right, so e4. So he's got a big center now. Knight f3, bishop e7. Bishop. Black castles, white castles. Queen e2. So the rook, queen on the same file, but there's so much stuff in the way, it really doesn't matter at this point. So now white's got some space here. So black's going to make a blunder coming up here shortly. All right, so here we go. The queen and bishop, all in the same line again. But he's got this guy defending. But now this knight is trapped back here. All right. So now he thinks he's under pressure here. So he's going to make a mistake here. What's the worst move to play? F6, right? So he doesn't play it yet, but it's coming. Trust me, it's coming. Rook to b8. B8. All right. So now he's got he's got a lot of guys heading on h7 here. So what can he do? So now he tries to move f6 here. So it's a trick, I guess. So if he plays knight takes knight, or knight takes pawn, it looks like, wow, I got 1, 2, you know, and then the knight, 3, and he's only got 2. But what move would he play if knight takes h7 to foil our plans here? Yeah, pawn up, yeah, f5. Oh, and that breaks the connection between the queen and the knight. All right, so that's why Willie did not take here. He just takes the pawn.
So you're saying Kane was able to see that?
Yes, that's my proposal. All right, so here we go. Because obviously it wasn't played. So now queen back. And so now he's got no f pawn. So he's got no security really on this pawn except for this bishop and maybe this rook. So he's got many ways without this f pawn to really mess up the game here. So what are the chances he's going to do it? Pretty good. e5. Okay. So e5, not good. So can we find the winning combination here? And all because he doesn't have the precious f pawn. The best moves in chess threaten something. And the higher the piece value that we're threatening, the better the move gets. So who can we threaten in this position that's really valuable?
If we can check the king.
Yeah, I think we can check, but we can check him a couple different ways. Let's pick the winner.
Queen d5?
Yeah,
That's not the winner?
not the winner.
Is to pick the bishop up 1 square.
All right, 1 square bishop move, okay. Bishop check, okay? If only he had this f pawn and didn't throw it away with f6. And then it's like, darn, I'm in check, I'll move to safety. And then lights out, okay?
I had a lot more trouble than this.
So not very good. All right, so you lose a queen, if not your king. All right, so that's that, okay? That's Willie Kane for you. All right. Edit that. All right. Well, we might as well go over a Mario Roper game. I mean, that's always fun. All right, Mario, he's got his chance to beat a Class A player here, okay? This will end it out, okay? So let's see if we can find the continuation to see if he could win here, okay? So Selden plays a very passive opening, the Pirc here. And Mario doesn't really attack the king, but he got safe and he got all his pieces out. So far, so good. Here's Mario. Doesn't play the, okay, if he doesn't want to get out of this pin, he can just play queen to d3, but instead he takes the long way to stop getting out of the pin. So that's all right. So here we go, b5. So now he's generating an attack here with queen to h3. Attacks the knight, moves the knight closer to the king side, so that's good. But he loses a pawn here. But he's got an attack going now. Bishop h6. It's always key to trade these bishops if you want to get a checkmate in this formation here. a5, c3. All right, so the knights get traded, but he's got 2 bishops all coming down to the king. So good idea, Mario, good idea. So here we go, knight f6 protects h7 though. All right, so Selden offers to trade the queens. So white is technically on an attack, so you don't want to trade queens here. Queen takes. Rook to b8. So now Mario's got a really good idea. Get this rook to the h file and checkmate him. So let's see if he can do it. All right, knight attacks the queen, so we got to move the queen. But we keep it on the h file to try to checkmate. Knight back to f6. It didn't work. All right, so rook to e5. Where's he going? So we can't go to h5. So maybe he just wanted to stop a little shorter. All right, but rook to e5 nonetheless. King g7. He doubles the rooks, attacking the e-pawn. Easy way to stop it is just push it. Good. All right, g4. Rook up, g5. All right. So now Mario is on the attack. He just needs to get a rook to e3 and to h3, and he'll be looking pretty good. All right, rook attacks the pawn, but we don't care about that right now. We're going for checkmate. All right. So how can black stop this queen takes check? Or does he even care? I would care. So, yeah, Keith, you got an answer? No, that's tough. All right, yeah, Julian. H5, yeah, sure. Here we get en passant, and black does not want to capture back. So he plays king up. If he plays king to f8, it's going to be bad because he'll just play h5 and game over. All right, so king now has to block the pawn. Notice that this pawn is in a pin. All right, so he attacks. f5. Queen attacks. So we better protect it. Queen f7. Rook to e3. Rook protects the pawn. And now Mario, he's trying to trick him here. c4. So he takes the pawn, and unfortunately, it's trouble, because now he's got the precious bishop fork, all right? So rook takes the pawn, bishop takes, queen takes, and Mario fails to see a very obvious move here, and it really hurts him. Obviously, just take the pawn. All right, but he moves his king out of danger, which it wasn't really in danger. So he takes. Or he doesn't take. He actually plays rook c1 threatening check. So Selden stops the check. So now he takes, queen up. Doesn't want to get discovered check. So he moves his king back to g1. Knight to h6. Queen takes the pawn. So threatening rook to c7 check. So very dangerous here for Selden. Knight f7. He gets the fork. And now he checks Mario. King here. And now with this queen move, he's threatening a perpetual check. Queen check. Let's say he blows a move here. He's threatening queen check. Queen check. Queen check. Okay? That's what the threat is. All right. So he's going to take a free knight here. Check. King here. So now Mario needs to find a move that stops a perpetual check and saves the rook. Because if he makes a move that stops a perpetual check, he'll lose the rook, and then he'll be down 4-2. So this is definitely a thinker.
So like here, it seems like if you do the perpetual check you suggested, I have queen e1 blocking.
Yes.
I think he could just move his rook anywhere.
Yeah, just move it anywhere.
Yeah.
Just move it out of danger.
Yeah. Solid.
Probably here.
That'd be good.
I like that square.
King F1.
And so now, if he checks you this way, we play queen to E1.
King G1.
And now he's out of checks. Uh-oh. Instead, Mario decided, I'm going to threaten checkmate. Rook check, and then rook check, and then mate. And unfortunately, his opponent played the perpetual check, and game was a draw. All right. So that was the 12, 13, 14 Open. Sorry you missed it, and but you got the highlights. All right. So see you next year. All right.